So the NFLPA is at it again. Lloyd Howell Jr. and resigns from the NFLPA. This is comical, man. Amid charges like excessive charges for like at strip clubs. So strip club charge. I mean, this is comical.
In his defense, he went to the strip club. It wasn't like he took a chick on the side to a Coldplay concert or nothing like that, right? Okay. He was at least somewhat discouraged.
Wow, that's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Good one.
I mean, there's so much going on with the NFLPA right now. I don't even know, Doc. I just dive into this a little bit, man. What's going on?
So first off, sometimes business deals get made on the golf course and at the gentleman's club, right? But if you're the head of a union, don't spend the union's dollars trying to make business deals in them locations, right? So there was some controversy where he had taken a flight, left the airport like midnight, and instead of going to the hotel, there was a stop. And then about 6 hours later, he moved from the stop to the hotel. I think it was in Miami. 6 hours. And they checked, and that location was a notorious adult gentleman's club, right?
Hey, you gotta be kidding me, man. Ridiculous.
So he had the limo running for the 6 hours, all right? And then there was another one. We took two other people to a club. There were multiple ATM withdrawals. Ran up a tab for about $2K, and then also tried to submit that as a business expense, right? Because it was trying to foster unity and fellowship amongst the union, right? So, but this is on top of him signing the non-disclosure agreement, so the players didn't know that even though they lost the arbitration after the whole Deshaun Watson guaranteed contract, but Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson didn't get guaranteed contracts, he didn't tell the players that there was evidence that Roger Goodell reminded the owners, you shouldn't give out guaranteed contracts. There wasn't proof of collusion, but from on high, there was a message like, hey, you really shouldn't, right? But that was never conveyed to the players. Then he was consulting for a group that was advising people, those venture capitalists who were trying to get like minority shares up to 10% in an NFL team. And someone's like, you don't think that's a potential conflict of interest? You advising people how to get an NFL ownership, but you're leader of the NFLPA. And he was like, well, we'll cross that bridge if we kind of come to it. And then on top of that, there's this federal FBI investigation on this One Team or what's the name of the group? One Team Partners, this $2 billion group that's headed by the NFLPA and the MLBPA. And he's on the board of this One Team. And so, of course, now where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's blood, the sharks come. So any and everything his name has been associated with is being cast in a negative light. But you can't run up the limo for 6 hours when you're doing whatever you're doing at the club and not expect folks to bring it to light at some point.
6 hours though.
6 hours. You going to sleep there? I mean, what you doing?
No. What's the movie with Dawson's Creek guy and Varsity Blues? He pulled up Varsity Blues, right? Like he went there at midnight. The sun was coming up at 6 o'clock, and he realized he had to go. He pulled up Varsity Blues.
Man.
That's all.
I don't know how these dudes get these jobs, man. How does this even happen? I mean, and then where's the checks and balances? I mean, does anybody? I mean, you expensing this? You looking at this? So the person who's the CFO or the financial person or whoever it is going down the line and they looking at this. I mean, and this is not the first time. I know that he's been doing this all along, and they just been paying the bill. This don't even make any sense. I don't get it, man.
You don't.
And yet you have the players who get heavily scrutinized, right? They spend so much time watching the players and making sure that the players are in line. But you got all these executives, you got these coaches. Don't forget the whole Urban Meyer fiasco, right? When he was with the Jaguars, the mess he was doing. So everybody else, uh, and rest in peace, Jim Irsay, stuff that he was doing as an
Yeah.
owner. But they get to do whatever they want with impunity. But when it comes to the players, you wanna lay down the law.
Right.
Want to throw the entire book at them. So this is nonsense. And before the recording, we were talking about that executive with the Jaguars, not Urban, but it was another guy who was running up the tab on their with all that gambling debt he incurred, over $5 million and something like that. And we don't even know what happened to him. He probably lost his job and a slap on the wrist. But nobody cares when it comes to these guys. The players, it's a big deal. So it's
And what else is sad? This dude is married, man. And you know, I'm sure I don't know. I'm looking at his background or whatever, but I'm sure he have kids, right? When you do these things, are you even thinking about like your family, like the repercussions that that could happen? It's like a wave. It don't just only affect you. So now your lifestyle, you living out a lifestyle where you're an executive, you making all this money at NFL, da da da. Your wife and kids, if you have any, living at a certain level, whatever. And do you even think about that? I mean, do you even think about that kind of stuff? It's just, I don't get it, man. It's mind-boggling just to see how these guys actually, just like you say, Lee, the players getting screwed over, but who's actually watching them?
right.
In his defense, he went to the strip club. It wasn't like he took a chick on the side to a Coldplay concert or nothing like that, right? Okay. He was at least somewhat discouraged.
Wow, that's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I mean,
that is a good one.
no, but to your
Oh
point,
man, yeah,
you can't. Yeah, you just can't be doing that.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah. It's,
Yeah.
it's,
And he said the ripple effects, the butterfly effect,
yeah,
right? It makes the organization look bad. It affects family. It affects the kids. It affects your
yeah,
spouse, trust,
yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, man. Boy, all right. Man, hey, that brought me to tears, man. That's comical. Okay, so I wanted to touch on the Dallas Cowboys real quick. So this is another comical situation for me. That's that. I mean, so I know. Well, let me start with Micah Parsons first. Start with Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is up to his typical stuff that he always does. Micah Parsons, one of the top premier linebackers in the league, and you mean to tell me what else does he have to prove at this point that he is the premier player for the Dallas Cowboys on the defensive side? And yet Jerry Jones had the nerve to say, I already paid Dak, and you see what happened with Dak. He got injured. I'm losing. What kind of sideshow are they running over there in Dallas, man? It is. I mean, this guy, you don't want to pay Micah Parsons. I mean, what else does he have to do? I don't.
He wants to pay him. He's going to pay him. He just want to do it his way. It's another conversation we had way back when Doc hit me to it, where I didn't realize it at the time, but Jerry Jones is not he's not concerned about winning. He's
Yeah.
concerned, his major concern is making headlines and making sure that the Cowboys continue to be relevant, because at the end of the day, the Cowboys are the most lucrative sports franchise in Western sports, right, in the US. And that's his major concern. Kind of like you remember the whole Katrina incident, and when Kanye came on, he's like, the president don't care about black people.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jerry Jones don't care about Cowboy fans. He does not care about the Cowboy fans. He don't. Like, I start to feel, but then I don't feel sorry for them, right? Cowboy fans, Cowboy. But he don't care about you all. He cares about one thing, that's the bottom line, and by that, making sure that his team, the franchise, is always in the tabloids, that they're always being talked about. So with that said, he's going to always slow roll the process have everybody talking about what's he doing, what's going to happen, why isn't this happening? And then right at the beginning of the season, he's going to pay Micah Parsons and end up overpaying for him. And when I say overpaying, he deserves whatever he's getting. But had he done this right at the end of last season, he wouldn't have to be competing with TJ Watts and all of these other contracts that came into the fold just over the past couple of months. So now he's kind of overpaying because he's waiting. When the Rams, when Aaron Donald, I think it was his last contract, when that was up, the Rams paid him immediately at the end of the season. And what ended up happening right after the Rams paid, like he was the highest paid football player in NFL history for 1 day.
1 day.
After that, it was TJ Watts, and then it was Myles Garrett. Had the Rams waited even a month, they would have had to compete with those contracts.
That's right.
So you want to, if you know this your guy, you know
Right.
this the guy, pay him, get ahead of it, save some money, and then help build the team the right way. But he don't care about that.
But to that point, Lee, right? TJ Watt just signed the most lucrative contract for a non-quarterback, right? 3 years, 123, 41 million a year, right? How much do we talk about it? We talking about the fact that Micah ain't been paid yet. And that's the genius of Jerry Jones, right? So you're going to wait and wait and wait, and Micah's not going to get signed until somewhere between after the last preseason game and
week
the
one.
very first game of the season, because that's when he signed CeeDee Lamb, and that's when he signed Dak Prescott. And so all the offseason, you talk about why the deal ain't done, why the deal ain't done, what's wrong with the Cowboys, what's going on with the Cowboys. It's free publicity.
Yeah.
It's free conversation.
Keeping them in the news.
And he'd rather pay the $5 million a year extra on them contracts and get the $50 million of free advertising with folks talking about his team. That's the beauty of it. But as you've mentioned, he ain't trying to win. The Rams trying to win, so they're going to sign folks as soon as they can. And hey, we talk about it for a day, but we trying to win. We trying to win rings. He want you talking about his team the whole offseason. And if we get a ring, great. But you know, the value keeps on going up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a genius strategy. I guess, if as an owner for him, he's making money and
Hand over fist.
they are set, for forever. And really for him, as long as, like you say, they relevant, they in the news, people talking about them, they're gonna win the Super Bowl every year. That's what it is. And speaking of winning the Super Bowl every year, Dak Prescott comes out and says he has an ultimatum. Hey, he called him the guys in his locker room. Hey, I want y'all to come in here right now. Look, only the players that are committed to winning the Super Bowl this year need to be here. Everybody else, if you're not committed, you need to leave. Get out of here. Don't stick around. Be done. That's Dak Prescott. Man, let me tell you something. We just talked about Jerry Jones not wanting to win, right? Dak Prescott, at least I could give him this. At least I could give Dak this. Dak wants to win. Dak wants to win. Ain't nothing happening in Dallas. Ain't nothing happening in Dallas. I just saw CeeDee Lamb, great receiver, and and George Pickens, another hothead receiver that's there in Dallas. I see that they are going to be, they're going to be a good tandem. They're going to be a good combo. Don't get me wrong. I think they're going to be pretty solid and they're going to do some good things. But this is going to end up like a T.O. situation when he was with the Eagles. I could see George Pickens alienating himself from the entire team. This is not going to last long. This is not going to last. This is going to implode. I'm telling you. They may win some couple games and they be winning and everybody else, but as soon as the tide turns, which it will, it's coming. The bomb is coming, and the bomb is George Pickens, and he's going to blow up that whole team. But guess what? Jerry may like it because again, it keeps them in the news, keeps people talking about the Cowboys, but they're not going to any Super.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looked like I thought I saw somewhere yesterday where it looked like he went down with
Who, Pickens?
Pickens, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but he got up on his own, but it initially looked bad. But I don't think it's anything serious. But to your point, I think Pickens is gonna I think he's gonna play nice the first year.
Yeah.
Remember that this is a
You give him
contract
the whole first year?
this is a contract year for him,
Yep.
Links.
Okay.
Yep.
This is a contract year for him.
I got
He
you.
got to play nice.
Yeah.
Rookie wage
He has-
scale contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
He
So
hasn't
we try and
gotten
get
his
paid.
first like post rookie contract yet. So he
Gotcha.
has to play nice. He has a big payday coming up. If he has a good season, whether they win or not,
Right.
statistically, if he has a good season, he's going to get paid top 5 wide receiver money.
For those of you doing fantasy football are looking for a great wide receiver too.
We all in the same league now.
Let's talk
Don't.
about.
Oh, I know, I'm having fun. This for the podcast, man. It's for the podcast.
But no, for real. Like if you're looking for a sleeper wide receiver, it
Sleeper
would be
wide
him
receiver.
because
Yeah.
he's gonna outperform whatever his EPA is. He's gonna outperform it.
Yeah.
So I think with that, after this season, or Lynx, if they have a tumultuous season,
Yeah.
and it becomes unbearable,
Then you go.
he better get that AJ Brown book.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
He better.
Hey, look, if I was AJ or somebody on the team, I was buying that book for him like right now.
But the other big issue with the Cowboys, if you're paying Dak 60, you paying CD 35, you paying the D tackle or Digizua 20, you're gonna play Micah at least 40.
45. You getting 45.
So that is, and the salary cap's only $279 million this year. So you essentially paying 4 people on the team
Yeah.
half the salary cap.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
And then if you want Pickens next year, Pickens gonna want what, at least 25?
At least.
At
Minimum.
least.
Minimum. And I think that's just too low.
Yeah.
He's gonna want way more than that.
So
No, not way more. I think he's gonna want he's
close to
somewhere
30.
around 28, 29.
Okay.
Yeah.
You now see, unless you do a really, really good job drafting and getting very, very inexpensive free agents with really good schemes, you just can't field a competitive team. This is the back in with the NBA. Like we're getting to the end of the 3 superstars and a bunch of scrubs trying to win championships, right? This is that in the NFL. We're gonna pay 5 guys max money and try to compete with everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's why if any one of those 5 guys get injured, it debilitates the team.
It's over.
It's done.
Yeah.
They're done. Yeah. You
It's
can't
over.
compete.
Yeah. I mean, again, Dallas, I don't see anything happening there. I mean, I think they're going to have a mediocre season. And again, they're going to miss the playoffs. That's just who they are, man. It's been 30 plus years. It's been 30 plus years. What's going to change? Yeah, I don't see anything changing. I don't see anything changing. Lee.
Wait, one more thing. Within
Yeah.
those 30 years, is it right that they're the only team that hasn't made it to the NFC Championship?
They have not made it to the NFC.
That is
Championship.
correct.
That's
The only
2
team in the
years
NFC.
ago. In the NFC, they're the only team that hasn't made the NFC Championship game in the last 30 years.
last 30 years. That's crazy, man. That's
Again,
ridiculous.
in their defense, 2 years ago, it was 3 teams, right? It was the Cowboys, the Commanders, and the Lions. And the Lions got off the schneid.
Yeah.
And then last year, the
Commanders.
Commanders got off the schneid. So now
Yeah.
it's just
But check
the Cowboys are by
But
themselves.
check it out. You see what happened with those 2 teams. In Detroit, it was a whole regime change, head coach, and these things. Yeah,
It was an owner change with those
Owner-
2 teams.
That's true. Exactly.
It
Yep.
was an owner change. with
Owner
those
change on
Yep.
both teams. Yes.
Yep.
So boom.
What are you suggesting?
I'm just saying. That is true. Owner
Mhm.
change.
Not
So
just a regime. They changed the whole ownership.
that's
From
right.
top down.
Yes. So speaking of Jerry, if nothing happening there, because it's going to Jerry, it's going to Stephen Jones next, and so unless Stephen Jones is a different guy,
He ain't.
then nothing is going to be like this.
I think 10, maybe 15 years ago, if something had happened and Stephen Jones had become the owner, there would have been a flip. But now I think Stephen Jones has been
You
so
already,
indoctrinated in the way that his father does things. I don't think you're going to see much of a change because you're looking at that bank, those bank statements and all that money coming in.
yeah,
You're not concerned about winning.
yeah, yeah. And
Not concerned.
Jerry got a playbook. He say, when I pass away,
What you do?
you follow this playbook. This is
Yep.
what you do. This is how to keep us relevant and keep us going. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. But that's a good point, man. Ownership change, man. Wow. So, Lee, so I know you brought up we were talking about the contract situation with the player on the Bengals. So, jump into that, man.
Yeah, real quick. They finally came to terms with Shamar Stewart. Everything that he was asking for, he got, which he should have gotten. The back and forths, it shouldn't have never taken this long for them to get this done. The way that the first round contracts are structured, everything is basically, it's like a sure thing. Everything is guaranteed per the slot that you're in. Everything from the first pick all the way to the 32nd pick, there's a slot pay scale for each one. It increments up percentage wise based on, of course, the league earnings and everything. There's a guaranteed statement for each one of them. The fact that the Bengals were trying to go against that, and we just talked about this with the NFLPA, they should have stepped in a long time ago to squash this.
Absolutely.
But when you got limos running and you stopping here and there and getting this done and not concerned about your own family, you could imagine you don't care about the players. You don't even care about your own family, right? So,
Right.
so with all that going on, this thing went on much longer than it needed to. There was no one to intervene on his behalf that had any sort of power. But to his credit and his agent's credit, they stand pat. They didn't allow themselves to be bullied into some terms that they felt was unfair. And imagine the precedence that this would have started if he had signed a contract for future picks, right? So kudos to him and his agent. They didn't blink. He got what he deserved, and now he's finally signed. The only player in the entire draft now that's not signed is, I think it was a late round running back for the Cleveland Browns, Judkins, who he's going through a domestic dispute right now, and so rightfully so, the Browns are they're waiting that out.
Yeah.
All right. But now Shamar Stewart, he was the last domino to fall, and he finally fell. But it's the Bengals being the Bengals, man. They're cheap. I think they overextended themselves with trying to with getting Burrow and Chase and T. Higgins done, which they should have paid them. They had Trey Hendrickson, they should have paid him.
Yep.
He's still not paid, right?
He's still not paid, so this is another scenario, right? Where he is holding out, and again, rightfully so. He posted something on Instagram, picture of the highway. He drove back down in Florida. He's not in Cincinnati. He's in Florida. He's waiting.
Wow.
But my understanding was he's been trying to get this contract done for the past 2-3 seasons. So they could have gotten way ahead of this and paid him not even top defense. Like, they didn't have to pay him top money, but just pay him more than what he's making now.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that he's not even looking to be the highest paid defensive player. He's just looking for guarantees. And they don't pass one season, and they're not willing to give that to him.
Yeah.
So the Bengals bungling up all of this, all of these contract situations is part of the course, and I don't expect much for them, especially on the defensive side this year. Like, Burrow is going to light it up, the receivers are going to get theirs, but they're not going to win a lot of games because this defense they don't have enough bullets in the chamber.
Yeah.
I understand something with that guarantee, to get rid of the guarantees, right, Lee? Like, so you could say, hey, we're going to sign Hendrickson to a 4-year, $100 million fully guaranteed contract, 25 a year, which is cheap, right? Respectable on the cheaper end, but it's fully guaranteed. Maybe he goes with that, right? Now we're talking 40. Whatever you say is guaranteed has to go into escrow. You got to put that money in the bank right now for the next bunch of years. Okay? So in case the whole place implodes, they still get that money.
Right.
And for owners who are frugal, or they're trying to get a stadium and they don't have the extra money, they don't pay those folks the big contracts. So back when Chicago was trying to get their stadium done, they traded Khalil Mack. Everyone's like, how do you trade Khalil Mack? They didn't have the money to put the money in escrow when they were trying to get the stadium done. So they were like, well, we can't sign him, so let's just trade him and get
And
what we can.
Roquan Smith.
That,
And
Roquan
Roquan Smith.
Smith is
Yes,
gone.
and Roquan Smith, right? So they paid Burrow, which you were not shocked about. They paid Chase. We were like, okay. They paid Higgins, and we were all like, okay. Now do they pay Hendrickson too? And it's like, well, they're going to try to kick that can down the curb as long as they possibly can, right? They're going to get what they can from him. They're going to franchise him, and then at some point, if he has to walk, he has to walk. But I don't think they're going to pay him 30, 35 mil a year. When they're trying to get money out of guys who are making $3-4 million a year guaranteed contract, trying to put clauses in there for behavior when it's guaranteed by the collectively bargained agreement between the players and the owners, right?
And the sad thing about all of this, right, is that there's a pattern when it comes to the consistency of some of these players when they are playing at such a high level. Trey Hendrickson has been playing at a high level the past 3 seasons.
Yeah.
He's had a routine. Now you have drastically disrupted that routine. Even if they come back at some point and pay him and get him back into the fold, I feel like he's not going to be able to produce the way he has, or he may find himself in a situation where he overextends himself physically because he's not been in any of the conditionings with the team. He's going to end up getting hurt. You see it all the time, especially on that defensive line. When these guys when they miss camp and they're holding out, and then they come back in late. It happened with Donald, right? Thankfully it wasn't a debilitating injury, but he ended up getting nicked up and hurt one year when he was holding out. So you have to understand that as a team, and that you have to make sure that you take care of business on both sides. Understand the money, understand the timing, understand what the players want, come to terms as soon as possible and get them into camp. They're going to hold out.
Self-fulfilling prophecy is you keep on talking about you don't want to sign these guys to big deals because then they end up getting hurt. So because you delay and delay and delay, and they end up holding out to prove the point, now the routine's off, they get hurt, and you're like, see? This is why we don't like to do it, right? It's like the folks who are like, hey, I don't like to go to the hospital because people die in the hospital. So they wait and 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 they wait until they're so sick, someone takes them to the hospital. Doctors are like, ain't nothing we could do. They pass away 3 days later, and folks like, you see, they never wanted to go to the hospital. That's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like you shooting yourself in the foot, and then they're going to be like, this is what happens.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I heard Joe Burrow come out and say, if Trey Hendrickson is not on this team at the beginning of the season or like during camp, and he said, this is going to be a long season. He is well aware that Trey Hendrickson needs to be there, for this team to be successful. Like you say, you already had issues on defense. For the past couple of years, that's what's been keeping them out of the playoffs.
Issues.
Hold
on. No offense to the grown man playing on the Cincinnati Bengals defense, right?
Yeah.
That man led the league in sacks.
Yeah.
On a bad defense.
Defense. Yeah.
They doubling and triple teaming him because there's really no one else you have to worry about, and he still led the league in sacks.
That's crazy. Yeah.
He did more on the Bengals defense than Myles Garrett did on the Browns defense. And they don't want to pay him.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, like Lee say, Bengals doing Bengals, man. That's who it is. That's who they are. So he's down in Florida. I know he's working. He's doing his thing, staying prepared, but it's not the same as being in camp. Yeah. Not the same as being in camp. So, yeah. Well, we'll see if that situation gets cleared up anytime soon, or if can they still franchise him? They could franchise him. Can they at this point?
You have to name the person early, but
they could have.
Let me check something.
I mean, I know nobody likes to be franchised. I mean, you're getting paid at the
No,
top.
they put the franchise tag on T. Higgins
Also, they assigned it to T. Okay.
to T.
But I thought
So
T got
he's
paid.
getting his money. Well, at least maybe earlier on. Let me check if he signed
Yeah,
that.
but they
If he signed
did he
something since.
sign it? Did he sign it though?
Let me see. No, he did. He signed a 4-year, 115 mil. So he's making almost 30 a year, right?
But I mean, but did he sign the franchise when they put it on him? Because they put it on him before they gave him the long-term contract.
Right. So because he signed the deal, the franchise tag is off, but they can't reassign it to
They
some
can't
point.
assign it to somebody else. Yeah.
So
See,
Henderson's just
Bengals,
playing the contract he's
Bengals
been under.
bungling. They bungle everything they do, man. They bungle everything. If you know you were going to pay T. Higgins,
Wait. Why? Because at least you could have franchised.
unless you weren't trying to pay T. Higgins and Joe Burrow forced the issue.
Force the issue. Yeah. That could be the case. That could be the case. Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see.
Okay. To be clear, Trey Hendrickson is in the final year of his contract, and he is set to make $15.8 million in base salary this year.
And that's why they can't franchise him. He's still under contract. I forgot about that.
But-
Still
Right. But it's 15.8. And they don't want to pay him 25, 30, 35 when they can pay him 15.8.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Right.
what they. So we'll see how the stance goes, because if they decide they're not going to pay him and he holds out, obviously he's going to be getting fined every game for not being there, and he could sit out the whole year, and then that contract expires and now he's a free agent.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't.
No,
So
it doesn't work that way.
okay, so talk
You
to
have
me.
to play. You take it, Lee.
No, you got it.
No. So you have to play at least 7 games.
Seven.
6, 7, yeah.
Yeah. So
For you to be able to
hold out.
void the year,
Okay,
that
I
would
got
count
you.
against your contract.
I got you. I got
If
you.
you
I
don't,
got
then it just resets to the
you.
next year.
Resets another year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The running back in the day with the Jets with the great balance.
Oh, you mean from the Steelers?
Sorry, Steelers. Sorry, yeah. Because he held out a whole season, and it just reset to prove the point, right?
Not
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
There you go.
Le'Veon Bell missed the whole season,
The whole
and it
season.
just reset just to prove the
It just
point,
reset.
right?
Yeah.
He missed the
Wow.
whole
And
season.
he was never the same.
Never
Never the same. Never the
No.
same. That was
Never
it.
the same. That was
Yeah.
it.
That was it.
Never the same after that.
So, as bad as this is for Trey Hendrickson, and he's been doing it, it's easy for me to say,
Yeah.
play the 7 games, just do the bare minimum, just
Get it
do
done.
what you can do. Get those games under your belt, and then just move on to a new contract.
Yep.
Yeah. Because it's only gonna hurt. It's only gonna hurt him. I mean, the Bengals, they may not want to win either. I don't know. I mean, they put everything on the offensive side. Defense is that, unless they feel like rookies and some of these other guys are going to come in and do some things. But again, I don't know what other defensive tackles they have that's gonna make an impact like what Trey Hendrickson made. It is what it is. So D tackles, nose tackles. Let's talk about Desmond Watson. Desmond Watson came into the NFL. He is the heaviest player ever in NFL history to have came in. He came in at 464 pounds, nose tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's down now. They got him down to 449 pounds, and they're still holding him out. They're holding him out. Trying to get him down some more to a weight where they feel like he could play and get in there.
Comfortable playing weight.
A comfortable playing weight. I don't know what that is, but
How about a healthy playing weight, man? Comfortable.
oh man,
Get him healthy.
I don't know what that is. That maybe that's 420, 425. I have no idea. But looking at his stats on his 40 time though, I looked this up, and Big Boy's running a 5.93 in the 40. So he's an athletic young guy. If they can ever, and they will, I mean, because you got your personal chefs and whatever, and if he's serious about it, they could get him down to that weight that he needs to be at. If he takes it seriously, and he could be there for Tampa Bay, man. Now make something happen.
Concerned about it, and you make the emphasis here is he willing?
Is he willing? Yeah.
Is he willing to adhere to a regimen, a diet, a lifestyle that's going to help him to manage his weight during the course of his career? He's only 22. I believe he's 22. He's a rookie. He's only 22, 23 at the most. So this is when your metabolism is supposed to be at its most optimal.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
you could imagine 5, 6 years down the line when that metabolism starts to slow down.
Slowing down, yeah.
Man, he could eke up to 500 pounds easy
Oh,
if
boy,
he's not during the off season, if he's not doing what he's supposed to do.
That's right.
So he really needs to. I hope his head is on right where he understands the implications here. They drafted him and they have a specific use for him where they want him to eat up blocks. He's a traditional nose tackle. He's going to sit and anchor that defensive line,
Right
take
over
on the blockers, right over that center, take up them blockers, give those linebackers free reign into that backfield, right, to attack the quarterback and or the running back, whoever's carrying the ball. But he has to be really locked in on taking care of his body, because that just the fluctuation between where is he right now?
449.
449, 450, right? And 400, like that's 50 whole pounds
That's
away
50
from
pounds. Yeah.
where he was when he first started college. So it's like, yeah, man, it's scary because digging into his background, his brother had a stroke. And I don't know what caused the stroke, but I could only assume that like the weight thing kind of runs in the family. And
Yeah.
we all know there's a lot of different health implications that come with that.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, you want him to be as healthy as possible. 449 pounds is not healthy. That's not
No.
healthy.
No.
So yeah, I hope he gets that situated. It would be good if he can get under 400, like at least like 390, something like that, and can play at that weight. Yeah, his health, I think, is more important than anything else at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
A couple of things to Levan's point. When players retire from the NFL, especially talking linemen, offensive, defensive linemen, they either drop like 30 pounds because they was artificially bulking up, taking the protein shakes, right? Jeff Saturday, for example.
Teddy
Or-
Bruschi.
And Brewski, yeah.
Or they put on 30, 40 pounds because they eat the same, but they ain't burning the calories like they used to. And if him in his early 20s playing football is 440, 450, right?
Whew.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah.
That's with the playing, the sweating, the running,
Yeah.
and you still over 400 pounds?
I was looking up, you said his 40 was a 5.92.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the slowest 40s ever, and the slowest was 6.05 by an offensive guard in 2004 from Arizona State. Regis Crawford wasn't drafted. But Orlando Brown Jr., who was a third pick for the Ravens, made the Pro Bowl, was a 5.85. So
Wow.
occasionally you got these dudes who are slow but got so much talent, they'll get drafted anyway and do well. So with him running this 5.92, they see something in him. Whereas, like, if you can move around with 464 on your body
Yeah.
and run like these guys who are like 300, 350, 375, if we can get you down, you're going to do really well.
Yeah.
But for a bunch of reasons, yeah, he got to drop some weight.
Yeah. And then you get him down and you pairing him up with Vita Vea.
Vita Vea.
Man, they could be some run start. I mean, that Vita Vea within it by himself, is wrecking, offensive lines. But you get him to where he could, shed and take up all that space and get him to that 70, range where, man, obviously that 5.93 is going to go down to, a 5.5. It could go down to a 5. Because if he's moving, like you say, Doc, if he's moving at 440, 450, and he's moving 5.9, yeah, I mean, I can see.
I'm looking at his 10-yard split,
Yeah,
right? His 10-yard split is 2.05 seconds, right? In contrast, I just looked this up. I couldn't find anyone else off the top of my head. We were talking about Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett 10-yard split was 1.63 seconds.
yeah,
So he seems to be, for his weight, he's quick.
He's
he's
quick.
quick.
For his
Yeah,
weight, he is quick.
He is
yeah,
carrying around a lot of luggage, a
Right.
lot
yeah,
of extra luggage. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's what they see. I mean, they see that, and they saw that potential and figured, hey, we got our dietitians in here, we got our people in there, we could get him in shape, and again, is up to him. If he continues this trend, it will be easy for them to check up on him and do things in season. It's out of season where it is going to tell the tale for
Yes.
him
Yeah.
over the course of his career, because if he can't maintain that,
Whew.
yeah, this is gonna be.
Yeah, I can see him
unhealthy.
ballooning out of control easily if he's
Yeah,
not, if he doesn't
yeah,
keep it in check.
yeah,
Understand you got Todd Bowles as the coach for Tampa Bay, right?
yeah.
Defensive minded coach.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably the two best teams in the NFC, Eagles and the Lions. What they like to do? Run the ball.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, you're going to have this dude playing nose tackle most likely. You're going to have to double team him.
yeah,
Okay?
yeah,
Who is the other D tackle? Vita Vea. So either you double teaming Vita Vea and this dude going one-on-one on your guard, or you double teaming him and Vita Vea is one-on-one on your guard.
yeah. You don't want it.
Tampa Bay is doing the best they can to force the Eagles and the Lions second and long. That's all this is doing whatever they can to take those two teams and make sure they ain't get no 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6, running the ball on 1st and 10. They're trying to stop the run for those two particular teams to give their defense a chance to get them off the field, and the offense should be clicking with Baker Mayfield, and yeah, all the weapons they got on the outside. If it works, it may not work, but if it works, it's a brilliant strategy. Just the way the league is shifting with some of these teams on the NFC in particular.
Yeah. Lee, I real quick, before we go, man, I saw something pop up. This is NFC here, and I was watching something. I don't know what it was. We always watching, these different shows. They say the Rams to the Super Bowl, man. They say the Rams to the Super Bowl. I forgot who it was. I need to look that up. And they say, man, you guys gonna be there, man. Y'all are the team. I'm telling you that this.
Don't do that, Link. Don't do that. Don't do that, Links.
I'm telling you, man.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm
Don't
giving
try
you
to
the
pump up
facts, man.
Links this way. No, don't do that.
No,
Don't do that.
man. No, man. No, man. No,
Yeah.
man. No, seriously. It really. Y'all again are on the cusp. Doc, JJ McCarthy is your go or no go. I know his wife is pregnant. He's been reading all the books about being a father, right? From JJ McCarthy. So they got a baby on the way. This a tough season. He got a lot going on. So between
Didn't
I
didn't I just today they said Jefferson tweaked something, didn't he?
he tweets something.
Hamstring. Yeah. He had a hamstring, something like some tightness in his left hamstring. And I think they're gonna keep him out for a couple of weeks. Said it shouldn't impact week 1, but they were concerned enough to they're gonna pull him back a little bit.
Them hamstrings ain't no joke.
No.
Very mild hamstring
Very-
strain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, them hamstrings ain't no joke.
Yeah,
You definitely need to.
that
need to,
offense gonna go the way he
yeah.
go.
Yeah, but no, in the NFC, of course, we got the Eagles, Lions, Rams, Vikings, Commanders. That's what I'm seeing. That's how
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
That NFC North, though, that division, that's going to be an interesting one to watch. I think The wild card, of course, would be the Bears because only because there's going to be some familiarity with that coach in that division, having played
Both
against
ways.
them,
Both
right,
ways.
with the Lions, and both. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right, and they know him as well.
They know him
So
too.
Yeah.
we'll see, we'll see.
Yeah.
But that being said, that's my five for the NFC. I think any one of those fives can make it.
Yeah. I'm looking this up right now. They said, let me see, let me see it, and I want to make sure. Okay. I heard something that Ben Johnson threw out the players, like was like, y'all not performing, get off the
Yep.
field.
Yep. He benched the
Really?
starters. He benched the starters
Recently?
on offense.
Yeah,
Bench the
recently.
starters.
This week, sometime this week, he benched the
Yeah,
starters.
sometime this week. So I was looking that up to see if that was accurate or not, but I heard that where he was like, y'all not up to standard. Get out of here.
So,
So
go ahead.
no, what I was gonna say was, so there is a culture change in Chicago. So with him coming in, there's gonna be some shakeups, man. So that NFC North is not going to be, that's not gonna be easy. That's gonna be a serious division right there. So
Let's talk about this real
Yes.
quick, right?
Yeah.
Because you got these players, Caleb Williams,
mhm.
right? Who talk about they want to be coached hard.
Right.
And you got a lot of players who say they want to be coached hard until they get coached hard. Now, what's going to be interesting, very interesting, is to see how some of these players, how they respond to situations like that. Will they allow themselves to be humbled? Or situations like that could be like the embers that sparks contention between player and coach.
Mhm.
We know Ben Johnson is a great offensive-minded coach, but you have to follow his direction to the letter. It kind of reminds me of Sean Payton and how he quickly got agitated with Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson isn't that type of quarterback that can follow the scheme, his type of scheme, in its full detail. He's more of a quarterback that needs to ad lib a little bit to get a guy open and make a big play. Caleb Williams is kind of similar in that aspect where he kind of freestyles, right?
Yeah.
Time to time. And that's how he makes his hay, right? He makes magic happen, and he doesn't allow himself the opportunity to consistently play in
Yeah.
rhythm.
Yeah.
That's not going to fly with Ben Johnson. It's not. You are going to have to play in rhythm 99% of the time. He will give you you got 1% where you can kind of freewheel and he can let that slide. But if you make that a constant thing, I can see where there's going to be a little bit of a relationship issue between them two.
Yeah.
And Caleb Williams just isn't used to doing that. Never. I watched him all through college. He does not play on rhythm.
Yeah. That's a really interesting fact, because for him to, for him to say right now that he's already putting these players out, and like you said, you watch Caleb Williams over the course of his college career, and he like to ad lib and do his thing and figure it out as he go. Woo, that's gonna be yeah.
And he's not gonna tolerate that on a
Yeah.
consistent basis.
Yeah.
He may give him one or two to the most a game. He does that, but everything has better be as it's diagrammed in
Wow.
the playbook. If
Yeah.
Caleb doesn't adhere to that play, that's why Goff was so efficient
Yes.
with his scheme, because Goff doesn't have the ability to ad lib. He has to play.
Boom. Yeah.
He has to follow the direction.
Yeah.
Goff's skill sets, he is more efficient when he's been given a really good play to execute.
Yeah.
Caleb, if he doesn't execute it, or if he feels like something's off, he's going to do his own thing, and I don't know if he can unlearn that. I don't know if he can unlearn it. So we're going to see. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out between them two.
Yeah, for sure.
There was a comment about from Belichick about Brady, and one of the things he loved about Brady ran the play exactly the way it was called. There was that trust that he knows what the play is. He tells the other players what to run, and he actually runs it, right? And if you can't get it out, or you don't know what it is, or you don't do what the plays say do, coaches have issues. And really good coaches, especially those that have been successful with people following the playbook. Yeah. So yeah, this is going to be. He has the weapons. He now has the coach. He can make plays ad lib. Can he actually run the play the coach wants him to run? And already he's been held to task because like you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, this is just the beginning of training camp. So yeah, this is we'll see. Again, this may be another case where coach and player don't match up.
He didn't draft him. He
He didn't draft him exactly.
Not
Yeah,
his guy.
He's
yeah,
not. Caleb wasn't his
Not
pick.
his guy.
He's
Right.
not his guy.
yeah.
So
Yeah, so again, that there could be if this does not go right this year, I could see something happening there where I don't know what a trade, something I don't
What?
know, but
The Bears get rid of a first round pick quarterback after 2-3 years and sign another first round pick. The Bears? What?
not the Bears.
Not the Bears.
if by any chance, right? If by any chance they have a bad season, as we all know, this next crop of quarterbacks coming out next year's draft, they're pretty good. And you got all sorts of different flavors of. You have those that are, they can ad lib, they're creative. You have those that can play within structure that are definitely accurate. There's a lot. You have about, I'm thinking close to about 7 quarterbacks that are going to get drafted in the first round next year. If Caleb is not up to par with Ben's standard, I can easily see them flipping him for a ton of assets because teams would be chomping at the bit to get him, to position themselves in a place to get Ben's guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That can happen.
Yeah, and you know what? If I was Ben, I would do it because again, he's not my choice, and if I have an offense that I know that we're running and he doesn't fit into that, or he can't follow but he's not going to work. And it's better for you to cut ties immediately, get what you could get, and then get your player, man. I would do the same thing. Yeah.
That being said, I'm going to talk out both sides of my mouth here for anyone that's watching. That being said, with the debacle of that team encountered last season with the coaching and Eberflus and how he was poorly running that team, Caleb Williams put up excellent rookie stats, right? 3,500 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. I think he set a rookie record for most consecutive pass attempts without an interception last year. So he was incredibly efficient with all of that chaos going on. What we're talking about, though, is that you have now a premium coach that is a stickler for offense, that it has to be run a certain way, and that if it doesn't, I don't think he has the tolerance, right, to continue to work with someone who's not going to follow his direction. So we're going to see if Caleb can do that.
Yeah.
Regardless of his talent, of his potential, of what he's capable of doing. If he doesn't fit Ben's scheme, I don't think Ben's not going to, he's not going to tolerate for much long.
No, because his job is on the line. I mean, he need to make good impressions. And then coming from Detroit and what they did and what he turned Jared Goff into, to now to be a losing coach and you struggling with your QB, no, because it's going to reflect bad on him. He don't want that. Yeah.
Because remember what we said during the last podcast, Links, you got some of these coaches where they modify the playbook to fit the skill sets of the player.
Right.
Yeah. And then you got some coaches where it doesn't matter. You gotta do what I say.
Yeah.
I think Ben is one of those guys where you gotta do what I say. He may give you a bone here and there, but at the end of the day, it has to be ran his way.
Yeah. We'll see, man. This is a lot of storylines going down in that NFC North, man. A lot of storylines going down in there. Doc, make sure JJ ready. Make sure JJ ready, man.
Ready,
He
JJ ready.
You got a baby coming? That's a lot.
That's
a lot.
You really
Doc.
focus on this baby boy. Come on. Yeah. But yeah, he'll be focused on our playbook. They were talking and going over plays and strategy even during that injury season last year. So he gonna hit the ground running.
All right. Looking forward to it. We got. I know we got we got you guys, Eagles. We got Vikings. We got the Rams too.
Week
So,
3.
yep, week 3. So, yeah, it's we definitely will be talking about that when those things come about. So, ready for it, man.
Sounds good.
All
Looking
right, fellas.
forward to it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
All
All right,
right.
gents.
See y'all later
Yep.
on the next one.